بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى، خصوصا على سيد الرسل وخاتم الانبياء وعلى اله الاسقياء واصحابه الاثرياء، اما بعد. فاعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم. During the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, the Muslim lands grew. And as a part of this, a point came where when there was a need for the Muslims to negotiate whatever deals or whatever negotiation needed to be negotiated with people who they were about to meet in the battlefield, whether it was the same day or the next day, the Muslims had to start dating their letters, so that they can keep track of when the letter was sent, and they can also keep track of when the response was given, just so that they can keep checks and balances. Now, whenever they would engage in negotiation and when they had to date their letters, the problem that came up was the Muslims had to use the dating system of the people who they were soon to meet in the battlefield, because the Muslims didn't have their own original dating system. The Muslims didn't have a calendar. So one of the generals, he wrote a letter to Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu and said to him, Amir al-Mu'mineen, this is something that bothers us deeply. That when we are in the battlefield and when we wish to date our letters, we have to use the dating system of the people who we meet in the battlefield either tomorrow or the next week. It makes us slower because we don't even have our own dating system. So Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, originally he was reluctant. He didn't like the idea of starting something that didn't exist during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, as was his process, whenever he wished to make a big decision, rather than making the decision on his own, he would gather a group of companions together and take shura from them, take their advice. So he sought the opinion of the other companions, and a large number of those companions, they said to Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu that this is a good idea. Umar radiallahu anhu gave it some thought, and finally his heart opened up, and he also made the decision that yes, Muslims would establish their own calendar. So he asked the companions around him, where should the Islamic calendar start? From which year do we start the Islamic calendar? So one of the companions suggested that we start the Islamic calendar from the year the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born. Umar radiallahu anhu, he disregarded the idea, he didn't like the idea. The second proposal was that let's start the Islamic calendar from the year the Prophet ﷺ passed away. Umar radiallahu anhu also did not like this idea and he turned it away. Now, after many proposals were put in front of him, finally the proposal was proposed in front of Umar radiallahu anhu that we should start the Islamic calendar from the year the Muslims migrated from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Munawwarah. And Umar radiallahu anhu loved this idea. And after consulting the companions, finally the decision was made that the Islamic calendar will start from the year the Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina Munawwarah from Makkah Mukarramah. Now, an interesting thing here is that many of us may not know this, but this is a point of reality, a fact, that the Islamic calendar was never used before Umar radiallahu anhu's time. You will not find a single narration of the Prophet ﷺ saying that X, Y, and Z incident happened on the third year after migration or the fourth year after migration. Because during the life of the Prophet ﷺ, there was no such thing as the Islamic calendar. And similarly, during the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, there was no such thing as the Islamic calendar. The Islamic calendar was started by Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu after consulting companions and its due process. Now, why did they choose the Hijrah? This is an important question. And I bring this discussion here today to the minbar, because we are in the month of Muharram where the new Hijri year starts. Why did they choose the year of Hijrah to start the Islamic calendar? Well, the reason was because prior to Hijrah, Islam was there, but Muslims did not have the liberty to practice their Islam. When Muslims would pray Salah, they would pray Salah secretly. For the first 6 years after the Prophet ﷺ was blessed with the honor of prophethood, the Muslims couldn't even go to the Kaaba and pray Salah. The first time the Muslims went to the Kaaba in congregation and prayed Salah was 6 years after revelation, when Umar ibn Khattab accepted Islam. And he said to the Prophet ﷺ, O Messenger of Allah, we will not pray secretly. We will go in front of the Kaaba and we will pray there. And that 6th year, not only did Umar accept Islam, but a few days prior to Umar accepting Islam. According to some narrations, just 3 days before, and according to other narrations, it was a few weeks before. But before Umar accepted Islam, there was another companion who also recently accepted Islam, and his name was Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. And these two companions were powerhouses. They were very strong people. They came from respectful backgrounds, respectful tribes, and physically as well, they were very strong people. So they said, O Messenger of Allah, we will go to the Kaaba and we will pray Salah there. But other than that, while the Muslims were in Makkah Mukarramah, prior to arriving in Medina Munawwarah, the Muslims weren't even obligated to give zakat. They didn't fast for 30 days in the month of Ramadan like they later on would after they arrived in Medina Munawwarah. While they were in Makkah Mukarramah, Hajj was not obligatory upon the Muslims. For a period while they were in Makkah Mukarramah, only one Salah was fard. And then later on, 3 Salah became fard upon them. Then after that, 3 years prior to migrating to Makkah, Medina Munawwarah, during the night of Isra and Mi'raj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obligated all 5 Salah upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now in Makkah Mukarramah, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never read or led a Jummah Khutbah, led a Jummah Salah. Never. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never read a Jummah Salah prior to arriving in Medina Munawwarah. He never led a Jummah Khutbah his entire life until he arrived in Medina Munawwarah. The first khutbah the Prophet ﷺ delivered, when the Prophet ﷺ migrated, before he actually entered into Medina Munawwarah, he stopped outside Medina Munawwarah in a small suburb known as Quba. This is where the Prophet ﷺ's maternal family was from. He spent a few days there. The people of Quba, together along with the Prophet ﷺ, erected the first masjid with the hands of the Prophet ﷺ, which is today known as Masjid Quba. And then after that, on Friday, after spending 4 days in Quba, the Prophet ﷺ started heading towards Medina. On the way to Medina, 1 kilometer outside Quba, on the way to Medina, the Prophet ﷺ passed by a tribe known as Banu Salim. Banu Salim said, O Messenger of Allah, you just spent a few days with our cousins in Quba, and now you're going to spend the rest of your life in Medina. Why don't you honor us too? So the Prophet ﷺ said to the companions, it's almost Jummah Salah time anyway, let's settle down. When Jummah Salah time entered, the Prophet ﷺ delivered the monumental, the first Jummah Khutbah of his entire life. And that khutbah that he delivered that day is known as Khutbah al-Taqwa. It's been preserved in the books of history. You can find it and read the words the Prophet ﷺ shared with people. So now that the Muslims arrive in Medina Munawwarah, not only are they praying publicly in Jama'ah, but now the Muslims are also doing something called adhan. They're actually loudly calling out in the streets, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Islam was no longer oppressed. Islam was no longer a secret. Now it was time for Muslims to openly and full-heartedly practice Islam wherever they wish. And it was this thing that Umar radiallahu anhu was so proud of. That Umar radiallahu anhu said to the companions, we will choose this year to always remind ourselves of a past that where we couldn't practice our deen openly even though we had it, and a future where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened those doors for us, and we will inshallah until the day of judgment have the liberty of practicing our Salah. This is a turning point in our history. And when we come to this month of Muharram every year, it only suits us that we reflect over the sacrifices that companions made when they left Makkah Mukarramah and when they arrived in Medina Munawwarah. Many times when we hear the term hijrah, 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 or when we make reference to the Islamic calendar and we say 1438 Hijri, I don't think we understand what hijrah actually was. You know, where we become accustomed to just listening to certain terminology and passively letting the meaning just cross over us. When there's a deep meaning to hijrah, what does hijrah actually mean? Imagine I stood in front of this crowd right now, and I said to every one of you, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to now leave this city and move to another land where there is no financial incentive. You will have no family. They may speak a different language or a different dialect from what you speak. And not only that, when you go there, you may also get sick too. How many people wholeheartedly would raise their hand right now and say, I'm willing to leave everything behind? These people didn't have a bank transfer where they would go to the bank in Makkah Mukarramah and wire the money to the bank in Medina Munawwara. When they were leaving Makkah Mukarramah, they had to choose what they were going to carry on the camel with them so that journey could take place. They didn't have U-Hauls. Whatever they could fit on the camel is what was going to go with them. But they couldn't overweight the camel either because the camel wouldn't move fast enough and they get caught because their migration from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Munawwara was more secretive. They had to do it very quietly. They had to do it on their own initiative. And here, whatever the companions can take, and what they took most of them was food and water for the month ahead of them that they had to travel from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Munawwara. When these people arrived in Medina Munawwara, they had nothing. You're talking about grandparents. A grandfather who was a millionaire back in Makkah Mukarramah, very wealthy, who had business going back and forth. Al-Rahman and Al-Rahman. When he arrives in Medina Munawwara, he has zip, he has nothing. People have houses back home, they come here, they have nothing. No family members. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he arrives in Medina Munawwara, he sees the sacrifice his companions made. They have no family, many of them. So the Prophet ﷺ took those companions and he joined them with some residents of Medina Munawwara and he engaged in the great muwafaqat. Muwafaqat means brotherhood, where he took one Sahabi from Medina Munawwara, one Sahabi from Makkah Mukarramah, and he joined their hands together. Because these people left everything. When you migrate, you leave everything behind. Go and ask someone who's left a war-torn country, or maybe not even a war-torn country, who migrated from their home country to America. Go and ask their parents, or go ask their grandparents, and every one of them will tell you the same thing. When I came to this country, I had nothing. My family was telling me, you're crazy, why are you going? When you have all the luxuries here. You have a house here, you have a job here, back home, everything is there. And what did people say? They said, no, we wanted to go. And whatever their motives were, they migrated. And when they came here, you go and ask your parents and grandparents, they probably had ramen noodles for the first 3 months. And that's what happened to the Sahaba. They didn't have anything. They started from scratch. And when they arrived in Medina Munawwara, they became very sick. The Medina Munawwara is infamous for we don't want to be disrespectful to Medina Munawwara, but in the days of Jahiliyyah, people used to always make reference to the waba of Medina. The waba of Medina was a wind, and it was a wind that would blow, and as it would blow, it was so cold that people would become sick. And the Sahaba who arrived from Makkah were not used to this wind of Medina. And when the wind of Medina hit them, many of them became very sick. When I say sick, I mean death-threatening sick. There are narrations regarding Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu that he became so sick after the migration that the Sahaba feared that he would die. So one day they came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, Messenger of Allah, your buddy, your companion Abu Bakr, he has become very sick lately because of the migration. We fear that he might die. But the Prophet ﷺ heard this. He immediately got up from his gathering and went to visit Abu Bakr. When he came to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu's house after taking permission, when he entered into the room, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu jumped to his feet and his face was glowing in joy. The Prophet said, Abu Bakr, what's going on? Everyone just told me that you're very sick and you're at the verge of death. What's this energy that I'm seeing in your face? What's this joy? He said, Messenger of Allah, yes, it is true, and yes, it is true, I was at the verge of death. I needed some medicine, I needed a cure, and seeing you was my cure. I don't have any illness anymore. And the Prophet ﷺ then embraced Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Migration was a very big thing. Now some of you may be sitting here thinking, what does this migration have to do with me? I live in Carrollton, I live in Texas, I live in the US of A, I'm not migrating. Well, yes, it's true, maybe physically you may or may not migrate, I don't know. Whether if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls you someday to migrate, then you go ahead and do that. If your deen needs you to migrate someday, then you prepare yourself for that. And Allah knows what the future holds, and I'm not going to speculate on what the future holds. But know this, that just as the Sahaba for their deen, when that time came for them to make a migration, they were ready to do it. There's a famous narration of a companion by the name of Amr ibn As radiallahu anhu. He accepted Islam roughly 3 or 4 years before the Prophet ﷺ passed away. He accepted Islam the same day as Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anhu. They accepted Islam together. And the famous narration that the Prophet ﷺ was sitting in Medina Munawwara with the companions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed the Prophet through revelation that Khalid has come to Medina to accept Islam. And the Prophet turned to his brother, Khalid's brother, who was already a Muslim. Khalid's brother was sitting in the gathering. The Prophet pointed at his brother and said to him that your brother Khalid has come from Makkah to accept Islam. Khalid's brother, when he heard this news, his name was Walid ibn Walid. He immediately rushed out of the gathering to go and meet his brother, and he saw his brother outside who had just finished bathing himself and had a nice, beautiful garment on. He was coming into the Prophet's gathering, and Walid told Khalid that, do you know how excited the Prophet is right now? He's waiting for you. The Prophet is so happy, all the companions are happy. And Khalid ibn Walid enters into the Prophet's gathering. He then says to the Prophet, I'm here to take allegiance at your hand. And then after that, the next in line after Khalid was his buddy Amr ibn As. Now Amr ibn As, when his turn came after Khalid accepted Islam, he said a similar thing to the Prophet. He said, O Messenger of Allah, extend your hand so I can accept Islam. The Prophet ﷺ extended his hand. He took hold of the Prophet's hand, but then he said, O Messenger of Allah, for me to accept Islam, I have a condition. Now we all know that when you accept Islam, you don't put conditions against Allah and Rasul. It's something you don't do. But the Prophet ﷺ entertained him and said to him, what is your condition? He said, O Messenger of Allah, my condition is that I want Allah to forgive me. I've committed too many sins in my life, and I don't want to carry that baggage with me now that I'm a Muslim. I've plotted to murder you more than I can remember. I've harmed many Muslims in the battlefield that I like to even think of. And now that I accept Islam, I want Allah to promise me that I will forgive, that He will forgive me. And the Prophet ﷺ then said the historical statement. He said, Al-Islamu yahdimu ma kana qablahu, wal-hijratu tahdimu ma kana qablaha, wal-hajju yahdimu ma kana qablahu. That when a person accepts Islam, everything before that is forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person migrates, everything before that is forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person performs Hajj, everything before that is forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is it possible that you cover yourself in dust and mud and are covered in sweat, and you come in front of the Kaaba after leaving your family and spending your wealth? You made such a big sacrifice for Allah, and you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't forgive you? What do you think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you more than your mother loves you. More than your mother could ever imagine loving you. More than your mother can love you 10 times if she lived and died again and again. More than she can love you, that's how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. And the hijrah reminds us of that. That when a person makes hijrah solely for Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give that person whatever he wishes. You know, all of us are looking for joy in our life. How about we make hijrah too? And this goes back to the point that I started off. Many of you may be thinking, what does hijrah have to do with me? I'm not going anywhere. Well, hijrah is of many types. In one narration, the Prophet ﷺ said to the companions, وَالْمُهَاجِرُ مَنْ هَجَرَ الْخَطَايَا وَالذُّنُوبِ. The true immigrant or the true migrant is the one who migrates from a life of sin to a life of obedience. This is a hijrah that we all need to make. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us to this world for His pleasure, so that we can please Him. Do we not see at the beginning of every year in January, the gyms, they go on sale, they have these promotions. And what's the promotion? The promotion is that this is a time for you to make a New Year's resolution and for you to not go to the gym and start getting healthy and get rid of the tires you have around your waist. This is the push. Everyone get healthy. It's the new year. It's a new year. So people can make a resolution to be physically healthy at the beginning of their new year. Why can't we make a resolution that we will change our spiritual life at the beginning of our Islamic year? And not because there's some special virtue in making this intention in the month of Muharram. But the reason why I called you to make this intention today is because the month of Muharram reminds us of Hijrah. And it reminds us of the sacrifice those people made. They had to sacrifice everything. The deal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is keep everything you have. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to leave your job. All you have to do is promise you'll leave Shaitan and come to me. That's all the promises. You can keep everything else. Keep playing your sports. You know, keep following the elections. Do all that stuff. Just promise you'll love me. Leave your sins. Come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come to the Masjid. Read Quran. You know, since the month of Ramadan has ended, how many of us can confidently say we've picked up the Quran? We've read the Quran. It's something that we feel so much shame of that we don't even like thinking about. How far have we gone from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The Quran speaks to this again and again where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us, فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you going? Where do you think you're going with your life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you the only place for you to go is Allah, and you constantly run away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How long do you think your clubbing is going to help you? How long do you think your gambling and your drinking and your music and your pornography and all the other haram things that we've surrounded ourselves with, how long do you think you might feel relieved, but that's it. You want true pleasure, you have to come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to make hijrah. You have to make hijrah. And the lesson of hijrah will always remain with us. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq to be from the muhajirin, those who leave a life of sin and those who walk a life of piety. I close off by translating for you the verses of the Quran that I read at the beginning. When asr, Allah takes an oath by time. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Indeed, mankind is in loss. With every day you drift away further and further from Allah. With every day you continue to lose. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except for those who believe. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they do good deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, and they encourage one another towards what is the truth. They're not shy of saying the truth. They encourage one another. It's easy for me to forget why Allah created me. It's easy for you to forget because we have so many distractions. That's why we need one another there to remind each other. Send that WhatsApp message, don't be shy. Post it on Facebook, don't be shy. People can share their immodesty on Facebook and social media and not feel shy about it. What has happened to the Muslim that we feel shy about sharing our modesty, where people share their immodesty without any fear at all? You know, we should learn a lesson from those who are disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're persistent, they're open, and they're unapologetic about their disobedience. We, the people who are obedient to Allah, we, the believers in Allah, should learn a lesson from them. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, be there to encourage one another for the truth. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and be there for each other in your tough time and encourage one another to be patient. And everyone please move forward the door area. We have space on the side. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. إن الله تعالى أمركم بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه وسمى بملائكة قدسه وثلث بكم أيها المؤمنون من بلية جنه وإنسه فقال تعالى مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كلما ذكره الذاكرون وكلما غفل عن ذكره الغافلون قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أرحم أمتي أبو بكر وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر وأصدقهم حياء عثمان وقضاهم علي رضوان الله تعالى عليهم اجمعين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الآخرة حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما يا رب العالمين اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تبارك ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما قضيت ولك الشكر على ما أنعمت به وأوليت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على النبي الأمي سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين